It is the ghost that haunts the hallways of every great ambition, the silent thief that enters not by breaking a window, but by being invited in through the front door. It does not steal your possessions. It steals your potential. It is the most refined, most respectable, and most lethal poison known to human achievement. And its name is indecision. Look around you. Not at the world, but inside of you. There is a quiet, sprawling cemetery where brilliant ideas, magnificent enterprises, and world-changing inventions lie buried, never having drawn a single breath. They did not die of a fatal flaw. They were not defeated by a superior competitor. They were strangled in the cradle by the soft, hesitant hands of their own creator. They were promised tomorrow. They were told to wait for a better time. They were starved of the one nutrient essential for life. A clear, unequivocal, and immediate decision. This is the great, tragic secret of failure. It is rarely a dramatic, fiery crash. It is most often a slow, quiet fade to gray, a gentle surrender enacted one non-decision at a time. Why do most people fail? It is not for lack of desire. Desire is common. It is not for lack of dreams. The world is built on dreams. It is not even for lack of talent or opportunity. History is filled with stories of the untalented and the underprivileged rising to unimaginable heights. No, the vast majority of men and women who live and die in the quiet desperation of mediocrity are held captive by a single paralyzing habit. The habit of leaving the door open. The habit of waiting for certainty in a world that guarantees none. The habit of outsourcing the architecture of their own life to the opinions, fears, and whims of others. The man who cannot make a firm decision is a ship without a rudder. He is a magnificent vessel, perhaps, with strong sails and a sturdy hull, but he is utterly at the mercy of every shifting current and every contrary wind. He mistakes motion for progress, drifting from one harbor of opinion to another, never charting a deliberate course, never committing to a destination. His journey is a series of reactions, not a sequence of creations, and his inevitable fate is to be dashed upon the rocks of circumstance, his precious cargo of dreams sinking into the abyss, all while he laments the storm and curses the sea, never realizing that the fault lay not in the weather, but in the captain's refusal to simply choose a star and steer toward it. This single habit of indecision is the great executioner of destinies. It is the beginning of the end, and for most, the end starts just as the beginning gets interesting. What magnificent future is dying inside of you right now because you refuse to make a choice? That question lands with the weight of a stone in the quiet pool of your conscience. The hollow echo it leaves behind is the sound of your own potential, begging for a voice. And in that silence, the real enemy reveals itself. The indecision is not the cause, it is the symptom. The disease itself is fear. A specific and sophisticated fear, the fear of being wrong. You are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the familiar, comfortable landscape of your present life. The other leads into a fog, towards a destination you can only see in your mind's eye. You are desperately seeking a guarantee from a universe that offers none. You are asking for a signed affidavit from the future, a notarized promise that the path you choose will be free of obstacles, ridicule, and failure. And so you wait. You wait for the fog to clear. But the fog does not clear for those who wait. The fog clears for those who have the courage to take a step into it, for it is their own forward motion that pushes it away. Inside your mind, a committee is in session. It is a permanent board of directors, and they are debating your future. At the head of the table sits Caution, the chairman, who looks suspiciously like every teacher, parent, and friend who ever told you to be realistic. Beside him is the ghost of yesterday's failure, a pale specter who replays your past mistakes on an endless loop. Across from him sits the specter of public opinion, a shifty figure who constantly whispers, "But what will they think? What will they say?" And in the most comfortable chair sits the most dangerous member of all, the advocate for comfort who argues persuasively that any change is a threat, that risk is foolish, and that the known, predictable misery of today is infinitely preferable to the unknown, unguaranteed joy of tomorrow. This committee is your curse. Every time a bold new idea, a burning desire, or a definite purpose is brought to the floor, they begin their deliberations. They call for more data. They commission studies on risk aversion. They hold focus groups on public perception. They debate endlessly, filibustering your ambition into oblivion. They are masters of delay, experts in the art of let's think about it.
And while they debate, the fire in your gut cools to a flicker. The window of opportunity, which was open for a brief, brilliant moment, begins to slide shut. The energy that should have been poured into decisive action is instead completely consumed in the exhausting, fruitless friction of your own internal politics. The analysis of the world's greatest achievers reveals one startling, common trait. They all had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and definitively. Abraham Lincoln, facing a divided nation and the Council of Advisors, who urged compromise, made the monumental decision to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. He did not wait for consensus. He did not wait for a guarantee of victory. He made the decision that he believed to be right, a decision born of his definite purpose. And then he endured the storm. He understood that his mind was not a democracy. It was a command center. He was not the chairman of a committee. He was the commander-in-chief. You are the commander-in-chief of your own life. Yet you have allowed this mutinous committee to seize control of the bridge. You have given a vote to your fears. You have given a veto to your doubts. The power to dissolve this committee has always been yours. It requires a single ruthless act of will. You must stand up at the head of that table, look your fears in the eye, and inform them that their services are no longer required. The time for deliberation is over. The time for command is now.